So, in the flesh, welcome to the Mark and Me podcast.
Yeah, Mark, thanks for having me, man.
It's lovely because Zoom's great, and when you're in America, it saves a lot of flying over just for a quick interview. But it's really nice to actually just be here in the moment.
Yeah, we live in an amazing world, man. It's like you 8 hours to get here, and that's it from where I am in the States. You know, that's pretty amazing. And here we are, live.
We spoke last time heavily about your solo album.
Yes.
And what was really good is we were talking about the lead up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wondered, now it's actually out there, the world are listening, you're seeing the feedback. How is it now flipping the coin and talking about reflecting on that moment, that it's not the big build up anymore, it's the aftermath?
I didn't realize what an emotional relief it was going to be to actually put it out. Like I knew I needed to put it out, I knew I had to put it out, but there was, you know, we talked before, there was kind of years of build up to it in a way.
I don't think people realize just how long it was in the making.
Yeah. It was you know, it probably took me 6 months to make, but then it just sat.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't do anything with it. And so I didn't realize how much that had affected me. I don't know if that would probably only make sense to a creative person.
Of course, yeah.
But you know, because I probably said this to you, but it's one of these things that rings true to me. Is you know, a work of art is never complete until it's given to the world, or until it's given away. Till you give it to someone. You don't have to give it to the world, but give it to someone. And it was just this internal emotional weight was lifted and has been lifted. And even people who don't like it, I see comments about people who are like, I saw a review the other day where this guy just dug in on it, man. He hated it, but that's fine. It's okay. It actually, it didn't make me feel bad. It actually made me feel kind of okay, because it was like, oh, that's why I wanted to make something different. Like, there's not going to be a lot of middle ground. You're either going to like it or you're going to not like it. And it honestly didn't, because I wondered beforehand if I was going to have an adverse reaction to people who didn't like it, and I was pleasantly surprised that
That's nice
I watched.
And refreshing, I think.
I watched that review and I was just like, oh, okay, well, someone didn't like it, but that means that it's out, and that means that it's moving through the world and affecting people, even if it is adversely, I guess. But it feels wonderful.
Do you think there's a part of people that expect it just to be another Shinedown album?
Yes.
Because people are like, you should only be able to do one thing, and I don't know, there's a persona and a way that people view us that we should be just doing what they're expecting of us.
People like monoliths, man.
Yes.
They like those things that they can expect. And I didn't do it to be contrarian or anything. That wasn't the point. It was just what I loved and what I loved doing. But there is that thing that you run into. Man, Shinedown runs into it sometime. I wasn't expecting this. I wish, why can't you guys just make your first record again, you know? And
copy paste,
right.
Yeah.
And so people like comfort. They like to know what to expect. And it might just be the state of the world right now. We're in a very uncertain place.
Every single day is a nightmare.
Every single day there's some new world-rocking event that we have to live through, right?
Yes, it's true.
And so maybe there's a comfort food side of that. But then, you know, man, I look at I'm actually pleasantly surprised at, like, Poppy just played.
Yeah.
Love Poppy. Love Sleep Token. You know, these artists that are coming along who are doing something different, and people are latching onto it. It feels great.
I feel really excited. I feel that there's a movement at the moment where when they announced Sleep Token, there was a backlash, and everyone's like, they shouldn't be headlining, they should not be on the main stage. They've only been going a few years.
Doesn't matter.
Isn't fair. Like, well, they've just sold every fucking arena out in America.
Correct.
By the time you've blinked.
Yes.
And if you listen to their albums, there's so much going on. How can you not like it? Because if you like jazz, they've got that. They've got percussion. They've got heavy. They've got metal. They've got dub. They've got rap.
Yep.
And I am so excited because they're here to show that it doesn't always have to be AC/DC, Iron Maiden, Metallica. There needs to be a moment they hand that baton over and say, let's have some fresh blood. Yeah,
man. My buddy Doc Coyle just wrote an article, and I forget what magazine it was in. Might have been for Revolver, where he's talking about the gatekeeping in metal.
Yeah.
And
it's so toxic,
and how it's never worked.
No.
People who try to gatekeep the genre and try to gatekeep rock and metal, you know, there are going to be new generations of artists that come along and shake things up, whether you like it or not.
Of course.
And it's that gatekeeping that keeps everything sounding the same.
Yeah.
You know, and believe me, there are elements to metal and rock that we all love. We all love the breakdowns. We all love the crushing guitars. We do, man. I mean, it's just like that's what draws us in. But it's okay for people to have success doing something different.
Yeah.
You know, remember when, and I think this is an example he used. He said when Metallica put Load out,
it
was like, Metallica's done. They're finished. They cut their hair off. It's all finished. finished. They're never gonna recover from this. The gatekeeping started.
Yep.
And here we are in 2025, and they're doing stadiums all over the world and being Metallica,
And Radiohead with Kid A. Everyone's like, you can't have piano, you can't have Tom York singing
It made
like
them
that.
a legend.
And I'm like, hang on a minute, that's probably gave them the push that they didn't need to do the bends again and again and again. They were like, we can do more than this.
Well, you could tell what they were wanting to do with OK Computer. You could tell that it was moving.
It was moving
away from that, and from Pablo Honey and from the bends and all this stuff, and it was getting into more experimental land. I just love the fact that they walked off a cliff with Kid A.
Yeah.
Like they didn't ask anybody's permission.
No.
They didn't make it palatable. It wasn't pablum. They didn't try to set people up for something that was coming. It was just like, we're doing this.
But what I do now is when I actually listen to Radiohead, I probably go back to Kid A more than any of the other albums, because I'm like, there's so many layers and so much stuff that I haven't heard by Johnny Greenwood and the guitars. I keep revisiting it and thinking, actually, there's so much to digest here. And that happened with Amnesiac, that happened with all of it, because I'm like, this is what I love about music. It evolves.
Yes.
And that's what's good about you. You're also with Shinedown, and you're not just saying, let's do the first album again and please everyone. That would be too easy.
Yep. And
you get bored and probably quit.
Yeah. We're writing the new Shinedown record right now. We're producing the new Shinedown record right now. We've got 2 songs out currently, and we're probably going to put out 2 more before the end of the year. And actively working on the record at the same time. And we've been having these conversations about, like, man, we probably need this type of song and need this type of song and need this for the record. And then, but we're also looking at each other and going, but what are we inspired to do right now?
Of course.
Because that should outweigh everything. It's like, what is the artist inspired to do? And a lot of artists, and it's no fault. It's not their fault. Whether it's just for pure, trying to survival in certain ways, they start thinking about what the audience wants, what the audience expects, and we got to do this, and we have to have this because the audience, we're going to alienate the audience, and that's music business talk, rather than creative talk. And I feel like if just again take it back to Metallica with Load or to Kid A, if you do what you love to do, you're going to shake things up every now and then. You're going to do something that's different. People will be disappointed perhaps, but it doesn't end your career.
Never. You're sub-headlining tonight under Sleep Token.
Right,
it's a good place to be. People are still wanting to absolutely go crazy and enjoy your music.
We've got a big set tonight. It's gonna be fun, man. We're excited about it.
When you come to a festival like this, I know you guys have done it for a while. You kind of seasoned pros, but do you still, before that moment happens, look out and kind of get nervous, or are you just like, give it to me, I just want it, I'm hungry, and I just want to just go and do what I love?
All of that.
Yeah.
Both simultaneous. Both of those things simultaneously. Especially download. I actually talked to my guitar tech, Rim, this morning about this. He and I were having breakfast, and I said, what is it about download that's always nerve-wracking? And I think for me, and he brought this up, he says the history, and I said, yeah, you're right, because we've talked about this on interviews before. Like, we used to get VHS copies of Donington concerts in the States, and I'd watch the festival, watch
historic
performances from the festival, and so like when I was 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, I'm watching this, and now I'm playing, and so there's extra nerves here that I don't get at any other festival.
And I'm adding to it now, like, you're really nervous, dude.
No other festival does this to me for whatever reason. We played the Czech Republic 3 days ago, great festival there called Rock for People. Again, closed the second stage, but it was all fire. It was all like, let's go. There was none of that nervousness. Today, I can already feel it, But we're gonna do great, and it's gonna be a great show.
Be awesome, dude.
But it is all of those things. It's nerves. It's I'd be worried if I wasn't nervous about it.
No, of course, it's healthy.
And but then once you're out there, you get through the first couple of notes, man, and it's just like, this is what I do, and this is what we do. And then then you can have those moments of reflection and appreciation for where you are, and for all of those years of work and blessings and luck and all of these things that lead to performing on that stage.
It's wonderful. They're telling me literally got 1 minute left. This is what happens at festivals. I'm Like, you remember when you came on the podcast, you get to choose a song at the end that means a lot to you personally. It can be any band. I can't remember because I've done 445 episodes.
I'll tell you what I did. God Only Knows by the Beach Boys is what I used last time.
That's too raw right now.
Yeah, it is.
Jesus,
That was my song.
So let's go for something different this time. On the spot, sorry, dude. But what do you want to play out today? Unless we could do another Brian Wilson, but...
let's go with... oh, man. God, this put me on the spot. For some reason, Stone Temple Pilots is in my brain right now.
I've not listened to them for years.
How about Tripping on Paper Heart?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I love that just came to you now.
Well, because we were talking earlier about records that
Yeah.
where the band jumped off the cliff.
Yeah.
And that's one of those records for me is I love Stone Temple Pilots, but when they did Tiny Music, it was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a statement.
Yeah, absolutely. So
thank you, dude. I wish we could talk longer. I'm like, we wait and then
anytime, man. Like, have me on
anytime.
anytime.
Let's do it more. I'll speak to Chris and we'll do more
Let's do it.
when the time's right. When the new album comes out, we'll sit down and do more.
Let's do that.
Let's do
Nice to see
photos
you.
and say goodbye, man. Thank you.
Yeah.